Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back, and we are back at Married at First Sight UK series 8, and we are now on episode 33, and we are coming to the first set of the final commitments. Now here I am going to do my quick guesses, and my quick guesses are Erica and Jordan, I don't see it. Adrian and Matt, the children will be an issue, so again I don't see it. Peggy and George, I did say nope to that one too. Tasha and Paul, it was a resounding yes for me. Ella and JJ, I thought it would kind of be a yes for them, but I may stand corrected, but we'll come to that. And Laura and Arthur, I said nah, no way, cat in house transplant is not going to happen after the last dinner and everything else that had gone on. But anyway, before we get into this episode, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I am on and doing videos. And let's get into the rest of this episode. So it was only 3 couples in this episode that will be doing their renewal vows at the end of the day, and then there'll be others coming in the episode afterwards. So they're all returning home for now, so they get to speak to their moms, they get to speak to their family members, they get to speak to friends in terms of how things are going, and basically just get an idea of where their decision making is going to go and their trajectory of what they're looking at is going to go as well. So we go to Erica and Jordan. So basically Jordan, I think, is heaping so much pressure on himself because he really does not want to be separated from Erica, which is going to be slightly suffocating for some people. So then it moves on to George and Peggy, and he got her a forever rose basically, and basically Peggy is scared of speaking to her family because she keeps on saying that they do not like George, and George cannot think of his life right now without Peggy. I don't know, I don't know how it's going to work for these two, because I think it's going to be a long slog if they say yes to each other, because of the fact that Penny is ultimately going against her family's wishes in regards to George, and not believing that George can literally plan a life with her or keep her in the lifestyle that she's become accustomed to, especially when it comes to having children and how he will finance all of that as well. Now my thing is, isn't marriage supposed to be a partnership? Isn't marriage supposed to be a partnership? So basically straight away Peggy is allotted George in a place where you as the man need to be up there. You need to be the prime breadwinner of this family at the end of the day, and especially if we have kids. So all the pressure is going to be placed on George's shoulders. So my thing is I've not heard her talk about what it is are you bringing to this marriage, my gal. What are you bringing to this marriage? Like, really, well and truly, what is she bringing? So all the onus is on the dude. That's how I'm seeing it. So basically her parents and her family feel that, you know, it should be a traditional marriage, and that's the lines that Peggy is going down to. It's a traditional type of marriage where they see the man as the forefront and the breadwinner of the family, and if he ain't able to keep that going, then it's not going to work out. So then you see Arthur talking to Laura, basically saying that he sees Laura as his future wife, as his, and saying that she's supportive, she always has his back. They have, it's when he said they have the same sense of humor. I'm like, are you in the Lululand, Arthur? You know. No. I mean, the dinner party should have told you that you two are not even on the same playing field when it comes to your sense of humor, because the shit that you put out was not great. It was not great in the slightest. Anyway, so Laura's gone back and she's speaking with her friend, and basically her friend is telling her she's not her best self when she's with Arthur. And when they saw Arthur in Chelsea, this was very much true, that Arthur is not going to fit in. He's not going to fit into that mold in regards to how they believe a man who's with their friend should act and react to certain situations. And Laura basically says that she can't help how she feels about Arthur because she does miss him. There is something there for her and she does miss him. But my thing is after watching that fucking dismal shit display of Arthur's behaviour at the dinner party, I'd be questioning that. I would be questioning my loyalty to this man at the end of the day, because he did not seem to have any loyalty to me, or actually even figure in and factor in my feelings when he was making these jokes. Because they weren't jokes. They really weren't. They weren't even funny. They weren't on a level of ha ha he he. Not in the slightest. So you see Jordan go back and he's talking with his mum and basically saying that him and Erica are in a good place. And basically he's used to being in the same place as Erica in terms of the experiment himself. And basically saying that he's happy to move. His mum was not happy with that at all. And basically questioning him, saying, do you think Erica will be prepared to do the same thing for you in order to up sticks, your job, your life, everything where you have like here to up sticks and move to where you are? Because I don't think she'd be willing to do that in the slightest. So my thing is but hold on, mum. You literally sat there and sang Erica's praises when they had the home, you know, when they went home and spent time with other people, the homestays, that's it. When they had the homestays, you sat there literally singing Erica's praises and basically saying to Jordan, if Erica didn't know or read you right, then yeah, you shouldn't be with her. But the fact that Erica has read you and read your difficulties and adjusted her behaviours and her approach to those means that she's in it and she knows you, and you need to give her that space and that chance. This is what you was this is the advice you was giving to Jordan, mum. So how in the hell can you now turn face now that Jordan has says that he wants to put his lot in with Erica, the person you agreed to at the end of the day, that you vetoed your agreements to liking and thinking, yeah, well, she has Jordan's back, to now you're at the point of no, I don't think that is a good idea. You're willing to move everything, but would she do that for you? We all know Erica's not going to do that for Jordan. She won't do that for Jordan at the end of the day. So he's basically saying he wants to see if Erica is committed to him as he is with her, because he's willing to give everything up and everything will go for Erica. And this is where I'm like, well, Jordan, you need to like slow your roll a little bit and literally like see the play of the land before you literally throw your all into something where you don't know at this point whether it's going to work or not. Because at the end of the day, Erica has reservations and she's raised these reservations with you, but you're choosing to not take them on board in the slightest. So Erica's talking to a friend and she's saying that she does miss Jordan a lot, but it's nice for her to have time to herself, because she felt that she was constantly had to be switched on for Jordan, like constantly have to be his backbone, because he relied on her more than she relied on him. She said that she may feel a little bit suffocated about him wanting to come into her space and be with her 24/7. She just thinks the way that he is, it may suffocate her, which will then bring on the negative impact of that. And these are things I have to admit she has tried to raise with Jordan, but he's not prepared to listen to it at this time, in this time frame. So she is scared of bringing Jordan into her life and then basically thinking that once she's brought in him, because of everything that she's had to do to keep him to a point and to a level at the moment and have his back, will take away from her as well. And I'm just like, it's gonna be a difficult one. Let's just put it that way. It's gonna be a difficult one for them. So we go to Laura and Arthur's vow renewal, and they both look good. And Laura's going in and she's already said that she has doubts. But Arthur doesn't seem to have any of these doubts. And I'm thinking to myself, my guy, you have not prepared yourself for the fact that Laura may say no to you. And she will set out her reasons as to why she's saying no to you at this moment in time. So basically, Arthur's not taking no responsibility in regards to how he behaved when he has been with Laura these past few weeks. Because at the end of the day, especially when it came to the dinner party, Arthur's there saying that it's a part of his personality and she needs to accept that. No, we're not going to accept that, Arthur, because what you did was piss poor. At the end of the day, your behaviour was piss poor and you needed to be called out on it, but you accepted no responsibility for it. They go through their vows, they say what they need to say. And Laura did in hers brought up her friends, and she basically said, the more I grow as a person, the more I grow apart from you. And she said this relationship is something that can't be fixed and something she didn't want. So basically Laura said no. After Arthur has said yes, he can see it going from strength to strength. At the end of the day, you haven't even got the set foundations in terms of yourself, Arthur. That's what I'm going to say. He hasn't even got the set foundations. He's got nowhere to live. He's got no job. He's got no finances. So he hasn't even got the set foundations in regards to how this marriage can work between the both of them at the end of the day, because then it's going to be down to Laura to look after his ass. And anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but if he's got nowhere to stay, who do you think he's going to live with? If he's got no job, where do you think his finances are going to come from? Because they're going to have to come from somewhere at the end of the day. And I don't know if his expectation was that Laura would take him in and Laura would look after him up until a point that he'd be able to sort shit out. That puts a lot of pressure on somebody. That puts a lot of pressure on your partner. So Arthur was basically shocked and stunned by the outcome. I don't know how he could be. I don't know how he could be shocked and stunned by the fact that Laura said no, this is where it's going to stay. She ain't going no further with him. And he was basically saying that he didn't see it coming. And I'm like, how could Arthur? Like, if you really sat down and thought about all the shit that went on between you and Laura, all up until the shit that went on with her friends at the homestays to now, and you're telling me you did not see it coming, is he really going to sit there and say he did not see it coming? Because I saw it coming a freaking mile away, because I thought Laura would be walking stupid if she said yes to this man right about now. He is not emotionally mature. He's not inept at reading the room. He's inept at reading the room completely. And he just no. So that outcome did not surprise me in the slightest. So then we go to Erica and Jordan's vow renew. And basically, Jordan is saying that he doesn't want to get his heart broken. But the penalty of this show is someone is going to get hurt. At the end of the day, you spent the better part of how many months with this person, getting to know them. You've married them. You've said vows to them. You've done X, Y, and Z with them throughout your day. So, of course, someone is going to get hurt if it doesn't work out the way that they need to. And you need to be prepared for that hurt at the end of the day. Feel it, reflect on it, be prepared for it. So, at the end of the day, they both said yes to each other. I didn't see that coming, but they both said they'll give it a try, give it a chance. I'm like, okay, but I just know it ain't gonna work out for you two. I just know it, because you two, both together, you two don't listen to each other. You two don't know how to communicate with each other effectively in the slightest. And when it comes to emotional maturity, both of you are very immature with it. Like, seriously immature. Both of you think you're on the right playing field with each other, but you're not. But again, we'll see how that goes. So then we go to Peggy and George, and we see Peggy talking to her sister and her mum basically and taking advice. She says to make the decision easier. My girl, 1, you already know how your sister feels about George. 2, you already know how your mum feels about George. So how talking to them is going to make the decision easier is beyond me. The only thing that would make your decision easier in talking to your mum and your sister is to say no. That would be the only easiest thing that you could do at the end of the day. So I don't understand how she thought talking to her mum and her sister will make it easier when she already knows they don't like it. But hey ho, we shall continue. So George basically is really into Peggy, and I'll admit, when he first came in to this show, I thought George was a dickhead, like an absolute and utter dickhead. But now I can see that he's grown, like in leaps and bounds. Where he has grown, Peggy has not grown in the slightest. Peggy has not grown in the slightest at all. She stayed at the same position that she entered this experiment with, that she's going out with. She's not moved one iota. It's George that has freaking knocked down motherfucking barriers at the end of the day. So basically said George found it hard to hear that Peggy's mum didn't really like him, and all he wants is for Peggy to put him first and to make the right decision and follow her heart. Okay, we'll continue. We'll continue from there. So Peggy is going in with the thought that she's hoping that she can change her mum's mind. The only way you're going to change your mum's mind is to have given them the spiel on George that you have, like keep continually throwing this man under the bus when you've been in the company of your parents and your sister, yeah, with George. Yes, George didn't make an excellent opinion with the sister at the end of the day, but that can be fully rectified. That can be fully rectified. So one quick snapshot in a quick wedding, yeah, shouldn't then make you feel that this is how you're going to judge this person from here on out. At the end of the day, you have to admit that George has made so many changes. George has made a lot of positives, and this is the thing that I don't hear coming from Peggy, that she doesn't talk about his positives at all, and she feeds into the negative. Mum's basically telling Peggy that she's allowed to be picky, and Peggy at this point, I'm like, oh, so this is the first time that I've heard Peggy actually defend George to her family by saying that he has listened and he's adjusted his behaviour. And this is where I see Peggy coming a little bit into her own with her family and literally fighting for what she wants, which at this point is George. She's literally fighting for what she wants. So I will give her that one. And basically she's saying it's harder now because her feelings have gotten stronger and he is so different to how he was to how he is now. And mum is saying she doesn't understand how someone could change that much in such a short space of time. But what you have to realise is that these people are with each other day in, day out. They're with each other day in, day out. From when George realised that Peggy was the person for him, he knew what was not pushing her buttons, that he wanted to change that, so he made those changes. So yes, he can make those changes in a short space of time, but then it will be for George to continue to keep those changes that he has made and not lapse on them in the slightest. So basically Peggy then turns around, and that everything that her mom has said and the sister has said has made her doubts resurface. And I'm like, they didn't resurface, they were always there. They always continue to be there. You had these doubts from the get-go. They always continue to be there at the end of the day. And so Peggy then turns around and reverts back to a negative by saying, well, she doesn't want a husband that will sit on games while she's working all day long. But George has said this to you already, that he wouldn't be sitting on games while you're working. He will be finding things to do in order to make their life better. So I just yeah, Peggy makes my head hurt. I don't get her. I really don't, because sometimes I think she's trying to find drama where there is none. Like, seriously. And basically she's then turned around and says, my mum is usually right, and she's stuck between George and her family. No, you're not stuck. Choose one or the other, or choose both. It's entirely up to you. At the end of the day, the decision is in Peggy's hands. And I'm just like, she wants to talk about George being immature, George being quite a bit of a man-child, but she is a child herself, because she is a child looking for validation from her parents in regards to her adult relationship. Like, come on, you're an adult in your own right. In your own right, you can make your own decisions. It doesn't have to be on par with what your family says. Yes, I'm bloody close with my family and they give me advice, but ultimately the decision comes down to me. They won't necessarily say, oh, it's no good for you, is this and this and this. They can say certain things, but that doesn't necessarily mean I agree with them. At the end of the day, I will take on board what they've said, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they will make the overall decision. And I don't fear going against them in that sense, unless it's going to harm me. Then yeah, I should fear going against them, because if it harms me, then I'll be a bit stupid at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's not her family that's married to George. It's not her family that's making a life with George. It's not her family that's making these plans. It's Peggy. So come on, pull your big girl panties up and stop being a fool all your life. So then we get to Peggy and George's vow renewal. George gets very emotional when he's speaking about his fans, and he talks about how he thinks Peggy understands him. And to be fair, I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. Yes, I know he was totes emotional, but I really don't think Peggy understands him in the slightest. And all I have to say is the gaming situation, gaming gate. Peggy doesn't understand him at all. And he was right in the sense that when he said that he thinks that nothing seems to be good enough for Peggy, and that is very, very true. Nothing he does seems to be good enough. He has to do that bit more. So he wants her. He basically said that he wants her, and he basically said that he wants to have a future with her. So he's saying yes to her in terms of continuing their marriage on, basically. So she gets all nervous and everything like that. And now you see George give her this reassurance, the emotional reassurance that she needs, that everything's okay. Whatever you've got to say, just say it, as long as it's spoken from the heart and it's coming from you. Does she give George any of that reassurance when he's getting emotional? She doesn't give him shit. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So then Peggy talks about her vows and talks about the fact that she was so desperate for a fairy tale. And this is what I mean. She was desperate to have someone away from the family unit in that sense. She is in desperation city and she really wants this shit to work. So basically she was talking about how it was the wedding that she wanted, and basically what she wanted, she did say yes to him at the end of the day, and what she wants is she wants him to prove her family wrong, basically. And I'm just like, but you've not given him a chance to showcase any of this in the slightest. And I'm just like, your family have been saying to you that it can't work for the past few days. So I don't know how you're expecting now George to try and prove your family wrong when he's been proving your family wrong since the get-go. To be fair, since the time that he made the changes, he's been proving your family wrong, because you still stay wanting him. You still stay wanting this marriage with him, to the point that you've gone against your family again and said yes, bearing in mind that you said you can't be with a man that your family don't like, knowing that your family don't like him. So that's why I'm calling bullshit on Peggy's little game at the end of the day. I hope it did. I would say I hope it does work out between them. Further on down the line, I don't know. I just don't see, if there's no big acceptance like from Peggy's family in regards to George, I don't see it working at the end of the day. And this is where I'm going to end this episode, but I'll be back very soon with the next episode. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button, so when you know I am back on and doing videos. And I'll speak to you all again soon, my people. Peace out.